Hi everyone, today I'm doing a review of History Quest Early Times by Pandia Press. I'm super excited about this curriculum because it's really fantastic. With this curriculum, you get the History Quest Reader, which is this thick book right here, and then you get the History Quest Study Guide, which is this one. If you're someone who loves using audiobooks, you can purchase the audiobook version of this reader, which is really nice. We love listening to it, especially when we are in the car or in the morning when we are getting breakfast ready. Also, before I forget, I want to mention that you can purchase this whole curriculum as a downloadable PDF, which is quite handy. So, starting with the study guide, here you have the table of contents. And as you can see, there are 27 units. But this curriculum also incorporates for Hygge History Weeks, where you just take a break from the more formal learning structure. So during these 4 weeks, there won't be any worksheets or assignments. Instead, you just get to cuddle up and really immerse yourself in literature. We really love this Danish concept of hygge. Basically, it means creating a cozy, calming atmosphere, and it has certainly changed our homeschooling experience. Anyway, getting back to this, I also wanted to point out that each page of this study guide is perforated, so you can easily take the pages off if you want to photocopy them or put them in ring binders. Then you have the instructions as to how to use this study guide. It starts with a quick note to the educator, the parent. Basically, the takeaway points from here are that you can certainly change things around to cater to your child's needs. What I found with my kids is that they seem to enjoy learning using visual and kinesthetic approaches, and that's one of the main reasons why I was drawn to History Quest, because it's a hands-on, multisensory history program. This is loaded with so many different activities, including cooking up different recipes, crafting, writing in different ancient languages, and many more creative projects. It also uses a lot of picture books, which I will talk about a little later. So this history curriculum is jam-packed with fun, engaging activities and books that really bring to life ancient civilizations. I am an archaeologist. I specialize in prehistory, Neolithic times, and ancient civilizations. So I can honestly say that this curriculum is done very well. I have come across other history curriculums, but nothing really compares to this one. And the fact that I'm able to share a subject that I love with my kids in such a fun and engaging way is really exciting for me. Anyways, they recommend storing all the written work, map work, photos of projects and craft activities and so forth in a 1-inch 3-ring binder. That way you have everything in one place. This program also works well with children in different age groups, which is really great if you have more than one child. And here you have a whole bunch of helpful tips. It talks about sensitive topics that might come up during this program. It also mentions that you can access free history travel log sheets from their website, which you can download and print. That way you don't have to worry about photocopying from the back of the book each week. So this section is definitely worth reading through. Then you have the required book list. So this History Quest Reader and the Encyclopedia of World History are the main spines for this history curriculum. And here you have the recommended books for the 4 Hygge units that are spread throughout the year. For 3 of the units, they have given options, and usually the first option is recommended for older elementary children, while the second option is for younger children. If you actually go to each of these units, you will see that there are descriptions for each of the book options. And here you'll find why they recommend going with the second option for younger readers. They really spell it out as to why the first option might not be well suited for younger readers. And I found these notes really helpful, so I really recommend you reading these sections before buying the books. So for the first unit, I went with the second option and bought these 3 books. I prefer the gentle tone of these books among other reasons. For the Greek mythology unit, I again went with the second choice, plus these other two books which I already had. The third unit only has one option, and it's this one. It's a really well-written book. I'm definitely glad for their recommendation. The final unit is on Chinese mythology, and for that one I went with the first option. Then on this page you have the supply list, and everything you need for the whole year is listed here in alphabetical order. So moving on, this program begins with an introduction on what history is. You will see that at the start of each week or unit, there is a yellow box which highlights that week's quest. And in the very first week of this program, the quest is to learn what we mean when we talk about ancient history. And then it provides a list of all the materials and resources you will need to complete the activities and assignments for that week. Now, in addition to the Encyclopedia of World History and the History Quest Early Times Reader, they also suggest some picture books that go nicely with that week's topic. These are optional, but I have gone ahead and bought some of them because they really do enrich the learning experience. I will give a flip through at the end of this video of some of the picture books I have bought for these units. Next, you have a suggested schedule, and they recommend spreading out the activities over a 5-day period. And then you have the terms and concepts, and here you will basically find the big ideas and definitions of specific terminology that kids will come across in the unit, which is pretty awesome. On day 1, children will discover the topic by reading pages from the Encyclopedia of World History and the relevant chapter from the History Quest Reader. And on some weeks, they will have to complete some math work on day 1 as well. On day 2, children will get a chance to explore the topic in detail. So, on day 2, there are 3 main components to complete. First, children have to read History Hub pages from the reader, which are these pages, and you find them at the end of each chapter. Then they need to complete the History Travel Log page for the unit, which are these sheets that you need to print out either from the back of the book or just by downloading it from their website, which is what I did. And you only do 1 per unit. And the last thing to do on day 2 is to use Google Earth to explore a historical site. Of course, if possible, you can always arrange field trips depending on the topic to further enhance the learning experience. On day 3, children get to create all sorts of things, so it's the day for projects. Sometimes there are a couple of options to choose from, but my kids really get into it, so we just end up doing everything. Day 4 is designed to test their knowledge and understanding, and to do this they have provided 3 options. The first option is to answer a few short questions either verbally or by actually writing down the answers in their history notebook. They have also provided some possible answers, which makes things really easy for checking. Second option is a bit of a narration where they either write or verbally narrate something about that week's topic. And finally, the last option is a bit of copywork or dictation. As you can see, they have already provided the text, and there's always 2 to choose from. One is usually longer than the other. This is a flexible program, which means that you don't have to stick to the 5-day schedule. You can easily adjust this to fit your homeschooling routine, whatever that might be. We don't do the 5-day schedule as such. We have been spreading each unit over a number of weeks so that we can dive deeper into each topic. The way they have introduced these topics are really captivating, and my kids get so enthralled by the subject matter and discussions. What has happened so far is that they have been wanting to keep learning more about the same topic. So I have been buying more picture books and spending time searching for other projects we can include in addition to the activities mentioned here. So this has served as a springboard for wanting to know more, And honestly, for me, that's the best thing that can happen because it's helping to foster their curiosities and we're just running with it. For example, when we were doing the Neolithic Times, which is Unit 2, I went ahead and ordered these books. I couldn't find this book, but I was able to find a lot of other books on this particular archaeological site. And it was truly exciting because Paul and I have actually been to Skara Brae and have done some archaeological work in Orkney. So we really took our time with this. And in addition to the activities mentioned here, which are absolutely fantastic, we also added our own activities like using flint to make fires and also doing a little bit of flint knapping to make stone tools, creating our own miniature Stonehenge and other megalithic burial monuments with rocks and clay. So this is an amazing program and we love it. I'm in no rush to finish this. We are going to go through this whole program, including what's after this, but my point is we are not going to be rushing through it to get it finished within a particular time frame. So I'm not stressing too much about sticking to the 5-day schedule. Now, just to quickly show you what's at the back of the study guide, here you have the map keys, so you know exactly what children should be labeling or coloring in. After that, you have the entire book list, and finally, you have all the student pages. I also just wanted to quickly show you the History Quest reader. It's quite thick. Here you have the table of contents. So this is what a typical chapter looks like. It starts off with a black and white drawing. There's also notes at the bottom which explains things further, and that's extremely helpful. And then you have the History Hub pages which you need to read on day 2 if you're following the 5-day schedule. And there are nice drawings like this one throughout. And here you have more notes. And that's basically the same format for the rest of the chapters. So anyway, like I mentioned earlier, this is a fantastic, secular, multi-sensory history curriculum. We absolutely love it and highly recommend it, and I would say it's definitely worth looking into. I hope this video has been helpful and thanks a bunch for watching.